What, you don't like my logo? Come on now.
It does kind of look like it's about pap smears and boobs.
Yep. Well, there's worse things to be about.
Hey, welcome to the Mammogram Cast.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there is a mammogram cast. you know that exists.
Oh yeah. Somewhere out there, there's a mammogram cast. All right. And on that note, welcome back to the Pixels and Panels podcast. I'm Aaron, and I'm actually joined with the exact same crew that was on last week. Ian and JC. What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? Shows a serious lack of imagination.
Yeah. Well, here's a little backstory behind this podcast. I actually was not going to record this week because I am reading a series to talk about in a future episode, and I'm just smack in the middle of it, and I didn't really feel like bringing up anything, but I thought, hey, maybe we can switch it up a little bit on this episode and just have a singular topic. And I thought it might be kind of fun since we're, roughly a quarter of the way into the year, maybe just talk about some of the games of 2018 and what we're excited for and what we've actually played so far that we've liked or have been disappointed by, and just talk about some of the stuff that's coming out the rest of this year. All right, so to kick it off, what we sipping on, boys?
Ian?
Don't all speak at once.
I was going to make coffee, but I didn't get around to it because I just got home. All I had time to do was change into my robe and crack a Michelob Ultra. So
there you go. That is so Ian. I am not surprised at all.
So I guess I'm drinking tonight.
Okay. All right. And JC?
I'm drinking a Jameson and ginger.
Ooh, look at you. You're branching out of the red wine, huh?
Usually.
Well, since I'm the guy who always drinks on the show, apparently this week I'm the only guy not drinking. I am drinking the Nectar of Life, a.k.a. black coffee. And let me tell you why. We have a little date after this podcast to play a little game, and maybe we could just kick off with that because I'm going to start the show by just talking about some of the stuff we played so far in the year that we have liked, and I wanted to actually ask Ian about a game that just came out yesterday, and that would be a little game called Sea of Thieves.
Well, yeah, so Sea of Thieves. I'm on the fence on whether or not I want to try it. I guess I'm downloading the copy, but we better make this podcast quick if we're going to play because, I'm going to have to be getting on Elder Scrolls later.
Oh, so, really? You got an Elder Scrolls date later?
Yeah. Got some people going to get together, do a dungeon.
Okay. Oh, man. I thought I had you all night for Sea of Thieves. Damn. Well, so I guess neither of us have actually tried the game yet. It did just come out yesterday.
No, I'm downloading it now. I have not tried it.
Okay.
I wasn't planning on getting it yet. I was going to wait a little while and see what the reviews are. But you mentioned that they are doing a little bit of a 14-day trial on the Game Pass.
On the Game Pass,
so, they made it real easy for me to just go ahead and click 2 buttons and sign up for that. So.
Right. Now, I want to mention, because I did that earlier today as well. So I downloaded the game. I'm ready to go. Game Pass. So I gotta say, there's a decent selection of games, and for $10 a month, like I am kind of tempted to maybe dip my toes in and see and just try it out for a while because the reason that I have an Xbox is to play the exclusives, and just looking into the year, like there's definitely a couple games that I would have bought on Xbox that are exclusives, and I guess even though State of Decay 2 is only $30, but it's still like, I mean, you still have access to like the new Halo, which I don't have yet, the new Gears of War. So it's kind of a cool.
Let's qualify what you mean by the new Halo.
Well, the most recent Halo. I mean, it's
3 years old now.
Is it 3 years old?
It might be.
Oh wow.
I mean, we are talking about Halo 5, right?
Yeah, Halo 5. Yeah. They haven't announced 6 yet.
It's a 2-year-old game, but
Yeah, I think it's like a 2-year-old game as well. I can't be 3 years old yet, can it?
2.5.
Okay. Well, you might be right with that. Yeah, so anyways, Game Pass, I may end up giving it a try, but honestly, a lot of it will probably be based on how much I like Sea of Thieves, because I don't think State of Decay comes out until, what is it, May or June, so yeah, this would be the only game kind of keeping me going on the Game Pass, although there are some there's some other games, like, I guess they ported Ninja Gaiden Black, the original Xbox game, onto the Xbox One. So there's even games like that on Game Pass, and the Halo Wars is on there. Like, so there's some stuff that I could definitely play.
Yeah, I guess I'm mildly interested in Halo Wars. I just don't think that, like, I just look through the list of games and I don't see anything out there that's going to pull me away from Elder Scrolls or like Fortnite or even like some of the other games that I'd rather play, like Division and Rainbow Six. So I don't know that I'll keep doing it unless I'm really enjoying Sea of Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I got Halo Wars as a Xbox One free game.
Games with Gold? I don't think so.
Well, pin a rose on your nose.
Yeah. I don't think so, because I've been getting the free games for like the last several years, and I haven't got that unless you got like way before that.
Maybe. I remember playing it.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Halo Wars 2 that came out not super long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited for Sea of Thieves, and now as all the reviews come in, I'm very not excited. So I'll probably do the 14-day trial.
Yeah, I hope you do, because I really want to try the game, and obviously it's a game that's designed to be played with several people. You can play it solo, but it looks optimum when you're playing it with 4 or 3 people, so 3 other people, like having a 4-man crew. So yeah, I hope you'll try it out, because if I'm not going to play it with like 2 or 3 other people, then I don't know how much I'm actually going to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing from a lot of people that nobody seems to really know what to do other than just sort of sail around and look for treasure.
Yeah, that sounds like it's kind of the point of the game.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's all the game is, then that doesn't sound that interesting to me. So,
yeah,
you know, but I did, like, I watched a review from a relatively trusted source. It's a YouTuber called Clean Prince Gaming.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, he's pretty hard on a lot of games and game developers, but he seemed pretty excited about this game in general. Some of the things that, you know, he did sort of go through a list of a bunch of things that you can do.
Did he play the beta?
Yeah, I think he's played all the alphas and betas.
Okay.
And maybe even got like an early release copy. Who knows? Hard to say.
So what was some of the things he was saying you could do?
Basically just saying that you can do whatever you want to do in the game. Like, you can look for treasure, you can battle with people, you know, you can, you know, sort of stealth sail around without your, you know, turn all the lights off on your ship.
Oh yeah.
Do stuff like there's like bars and taverns. You can all kinds of silly stuff you can play around and do. There wasn't like a lot of end game content that he mentioned, but I don't know if anybody's gotten there yet. That's the one thing that worries me, is like, you know, it might be fun for a little while, but is there some sort of end game in this that will keep you playing?
Yeah, well, I guess you're right. I guess I would counter that just thinking about another popular game you're playing, Fortnite, and there's not a really crazy progression system in that game either. Where you're constantly grinding, right?
There is in Save the World. There's a pretty extensive progression. Save the World's a really good game. But Battle Royale, no, it's just the gameplay.
Yeah.
But it is fun and compelling gameplay, and it's sort of unpredictable, and, you know, any match, anything can happen, and, you know, 90% of the time you die, it's bullshit. And I'm in a weird place with that game where, like, I'm generally pretty good at not taking it too seriously, but there's just there's some problems that are cropping up that you know, I can't play it in long stretches because it infuriates me. So
Jumping cheaters.
I just hope. Well, yeah, the bunny hop simulator. I mean, I don't know. They like shotguns are already kind of a problem in that game.
Yeah.
And they added an even more powerful one tomorrow. So I'm like, I don't know where why they decided that was a good idea, but we'll see.
All
however,
right, go ahead.
I'm just hoping that the Battle Royale portion of that game, which is the much more successful version, doesn't kill off the Save the World version, because the Save the World's actually a really good game. Like I said, it does have a lot of good progression.
Well, it sounds like, since that's the paid portion, it sounds like they want to kind of funnel people from Battle Royale over to try Save the World, right?
I don't know. I don't know if there was a plan in place, because Save the World has been in development for like 4, 5, 6 years, but Battle Royale just cropped up in the last 6 months and they just put it together. So they're kind of figuring it out still, but I think the plan is eventually to make Save the World free as well.
Oh, okay.
As soon as the game goes into like an actual release, it's still technically in beta.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if that's the case, but
now when did Save the World I'm sorry, did Battle Royale that came out in 2018, right?
No, it's been out since like mid 2017.
Did they just start giving it away for free in 2018?
Yeah, no, it was always free.
It was always free. Okay.
Yeah,
right. Seems like I've just been...
It just got fire in 2018.
Oh. Yeah, it seems like I've just been hearing about it in 2018.
I saw a video today of shirtless Alexander Ovechkin winning a match of Fortnite, and I was like, well, this game's too mainstream for my taste.
Yeah, I was like seeing some rapper who was also like talking about how many like wins he had in the game and stuff too. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely blown up. So Ian, is there even a game that came out in 2018 that you actually were into and played a lot of this year?
That's already come out so far?
Yeah, like a game that came out in 2018 that you played a lot of.
Well, no, there's not really.
Moving on. No, kidding.
Okay. I was mildly intrigued by Monster Hunter. But in the end, like it wasn't quite enough to prompt me to purchase it. I believe it's a good game. I don't know if it's necessarily for me, and what I saw of it, like it just wasn't it didn't compel me to buy it and pull me away from Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, if anyone wants to hear my thoughts on that, I talked on it extensively in a previous episode. I definitely had some issues as well with the game. But how about you, JC? Has there been a game so far in 2018 that you've actually enjoyed?
It's like a 2018 original?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, if this kind of counts, Rainbow Six Year 3.
Oh yeah, it kind of does, because that dropped basically. I mean, it dropped like a month ago, right? With the new Horde mode and stuff.
Yeah, I played a couple rounds of that. I've been hoping to get a group of
buddies
of you two idiots.
Yeah,
play it because it's a 3-player mode.
Well, it sounds like Ian's way too busy for us.
Yeah, I mean, what else is new? He's popular.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I traded you guys for my Elder Scrolls friends. Sorry. You guys had your chance. You guys had like 10 years to play with me.
Well, geez, what time are you playing that tonight, Ian?
I don't know, probably in like 10 minutes. But
Elder Scrolls
how much?
10-year-old game?
How much time are we gonna have on Sea of Thieves?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, I guess we should talk about this after the podcast.
Yeah, as much as we can.
Okay. Yeah. So, geez, I'm actually.
Can I finish what I was saying?
Oh yeah. Go and finish. Rainbow Six.
I honestly think the co-op Horde mode is probably the most compelling mode that they put together for Rainbow, because it mixes defense and attack, and it's co-op. So I mean, I prefer that over like playing with these super elite players who are going to die in 20 seconds.
Right. Well,
Is it okay? I have a couple questions about it. Is that mode 60 FPS? Does it look like the head-to-head multiplayer?
I mean, it looks like the multiplayer that I played with you. I haven't played too much of the head-to-head multiplayer, so.
So you're saying it looks more like the terrorist hunts?
No, I mean it looks completely different. There's a lot more going on, so.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm bad at saying like, oh, that looks like 30 or 60 FPS. I got bad eyes.
Yeah, that's why we wear glasses. Well,
they're like fucking Coke bottles, man.
It is exciting to hear though that there's a little bit more utility for the defenders in the co-op mode, because that was one of the bigger problems of the game. Is we all like to play it kind of just doing terrorist hunts, messing around, and not going into serious competitive games. So it seemed like, you'd get 8 out of 10 missions would be attackers.
Right.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah, I mean, because there was only one defense mode as opposed to like 3 attack modes. Whereas this, like, I think it's a mixture of attackers and defenders. But you definitely, it's definitely like it mixes kind of like the elements of the whole game together into one big mode.
Yeah, I'm excited to play that with two of my friends. Seems like we've only been able to get like 2 of us on at the same time, but I definitely would try that with like a full squad. All right, well, for me, stuff that's come out in 2018, I talked about Monster Hunter a while ago. Wasn't super hooked by the game. I may go back to it since I do own it. Just to try some new weapons and stuff, because they do play so differently. And besides that, I mean, the stuff that's come out in 2018, I've really like the only other game I've really bought is Bayonetta, which is an old game, but it came out on Switch. And so, those are really the only games that I've bought so far in 2018. But I've just been still playing stuff from 2017, like Ghost Recon and Horizon and stuff like that. So, so moving on, let's get into the big topic of the day. Let's talk about the rest of 2018 and what's coming out that we're either excited for or, in Ian's case, cautiously optimistic for. We have 5 games each that we're going to talk about a little bit. And just to start us off, JC, do you want to talk about the first game that you're excited for or trepidatious for in 2018?
5 or start from 1?
Just pick whichever one, and we'll just go around the table.
Start from 5. Let's go backwards.
So my number 5, I actually just read an article that apparently they put a pause on it because of, I don't know, they need to like look at their direction or whatever. So who knows if it'll actually be a 2018 game? But they're doing a System Shock remake, and I was a big fan of the series back in the day. So I was to see a high res, modern version. But yeah, I just saw an article like from I think like this week or last week, saying that like the production company said like we need to like readjust our sales, and so everyone is on hiatus. So I don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah, because I was reading an article about this. Originally, they had done a Kickstarter to just port the original game, right?
Right.
And then that turned into kind of just remaking the entire game, and then it kind of got away from them, got too big, so they had to just put it on pause.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. All right.
Either of you guys played the originals too?
No, I actually haven't.
Yeah, I mean System Shock 2 was amazing.
No, I've never even heard of it. I don't even know what it is. Is it a PC game?
Yeah, well, I mean, have you played like BioShock?
I played BioShock. I played BioShock Infinite. I didn't really play any of the other ones until Infinite.
So basically, like System Shock is pre-BioShock.
Yeah, it's the precursor. Okay, so my number 5 game of 2018 that I'm looking forward to is, I already mentioned it this podcast, but it's State of Decay 2. And we've talked about this on previous episodes. I was talking about it with Chris, actually. But I'm just looking forward to them making everything bigger, better, and smoother because, the first game had a lot of jank, and it had a lot of good ideas. So I'm just excited for them to release a more polished version of the first game, which, by the way, is also available on Xbox One. So I might actually jump back into that on the Game Pass.
Now that's an open world zombie survival kind of thing.
Yeah, and this game is specifically, it's going to have a 4-player co-op that you can drop in, drop out. And I'm assuming the world's going to be bigger and a lot more stuff to do. And I mean, I really haven't read a terrible amount about it, but I know they did announce that the price is going to be $29.99, which actually kind of worries me a little bit because, I mean, the first game was $20 when it came out, and they're kind of like batting above their weight. But this game seemed like it was going to be like a full $60 release, a full-on AAA title, and that kind of makes me worry it might not be. But from what I've seen so far of the game, it does look pretty good. So I don't know. I really don't know how to. I don't know. I don't know how to think about it. Ian, are you excited at all for this game?
For State of Decay, no. I mean, you know me. I'm like, if I try not to get excited ahead of time too much.
That's right. Yeah, you're the hype rhino.
I'm the hype rhino. Yeah, if I see hype, I gotta go run and stamp it out like a fire. But I like zombie games in particular. It's really hard. It's just such a crowded genre that I'm gonna wait to hear if something's good. Like, even like Fortnite Save the World, it was like, oh, it's a zombie game, not interested, until it, it blew up and people were actually saying good things about it before I got into it.
Okay, yeah. Side question: favorite zombie game?
Ooh.
The correct answer is Left 4 Dead 2.
Well, I was gonna say, like, Left 4 Dead immediately jumped to my head, but then I also have a big old soft spot for the Resident Evil games.
Does Resident Evil 4 count?
Oh yeah. For zombies,
that's a game. But are those do the Resident Evil games actually have zombies? Aren't they?
Well, the first 3 do, but 4. Yeah, they're actually zombies in the first 3, but 4, they're more like mutated humans. So, yeah, Ian has a point there. 4 might not actually count as far as the zombie genre.
So, 100% Resident Evil 4 if it counts. If Resident Evil 4 does not count, then I don't know, like maybe Dying Light.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah, it's hard, man. There's a lot of good zombie games, but yeah, Dying Light was fantastic.
Correct answer is Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, well, Left 4 Dead 2 was the better game, and actually ended up including all of Left 4 Dead 1's content. So you definitely want to go with Left 4 Dead 2. All right, Ian.
The only I will say, is it We Are Billions? Actually, looks intriguing as a zombie game to me.
We Are Billions?
Is that what it's called?
There's Days Gone. That's the one with the huge zombie hordes.
Maybe it's Days Gone.
That's coming out. It's actually not coming out this year. I was gonna put it on my list actually, but it's not coming out in 2018. It's gonna.
Oh, is it They Are Billions?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even heard of that game. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like a horde defense for zombies, but it may be like an RTS looking.
It's out and it looks like an RTS.
Yeah, it looks like an RTS zombie game. That actually looks more intriguing to me than. And if that comes out this year, then I'll put that down as my number 5. It was going to be Anthem, but that's not going to come out.
That's not coming out.
December 13th, 2017.
Oh, We Are Billions is already. They Are Billions is already out.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. Strike it from the list.
Well, I mean, you can still have it on the list because you didn't realize it came out.
It's on Steam, and it's a post-apocalyptic real-time strategy survival video game.
Okay, might have to look into it.
All right, since it's
early access though, so technically it hasn't come out.
That's true, but let's say it comes out in 2018. Although it seems like these early access games just stay in early access forever. But since you didn't actually have a number 5 game, we'll count that one as your number 5 game for 2018, Ian. And then so let's go back to JC. What's your number 4?
Dreams. I just saw a trailer for that. It's I guess from the people who did the
Quantic Dream.
No, just Dreams.
No, the developer's called Quantic Dream.
Oh, they're the people who did, I guess, the sock puppet games for.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I'm having a brain fart. Little Big Planet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the
Which I heard were
trailer-
great, but I never really played.
Yep.
Right.
I even bought
heard were
two
great.
of mine.
I heard were great. I never played. And the trailer for this looks really dark and creepy, and I guess still has that like custom creation stuff.
Oh, you know, wait. You know what? I'm sorry. Quantic Dream did Beyond Two Souls. They're doing Detroit Become Human, and they did Heavy Rain. I am mixing that up. That's it's Media Molecule I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
I mean, it looks like a really cool looking game,
Mhm.
and so I'm interested to see. I mean, I don't know how it'll play, but
Yeah.
and then obviously having the creation aspect to it. But it looks striking.
Well, that's my problem with the game is I don't know how it's going to play either because I don't know what the game is. I know it has a robust creation tool set, but I'm of the mind that I don't really want to make a game. Like I want them to make the game and I want to play it.
I mean, I agree with that as well. But I like having the option, and I like the fact that I'm sure I'll be able to download some insane creations.
Yeah.
And again, just from looking at like what the game looks like, it looks gorgeous. So I'm intrigued. I don't know that. Yeah, I'll wait and see, obviously, but I'm very intrigued by it more so than other games because it looks different than other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like one of those things that I'd probably buy and try for a little bit, but never really get that deep into.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said you want you want them to build the games and not you. But going back to Sea of Thieves, it sounds like they're looking for feedback on what to add to the game almost immediately, where they've almost held content back and not made enough because they want.
That's interesting. I heard that too. And I mean, that's not me making the game, but that's just giving them suggestions to make the game. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about that really. I mean, I'm assuming people are going to tell them that they want more progression system, right? For Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, that doesn't sound like a good idea or thing for the game.
It's not a good
having some
indicator.
sort of vision is good.
Yeah, I like the idea that they are prepared to react to community feedback. But it scares me that they're out of ideas.
Yeah, well, yeah, and and also we don't know how they're going to react. Like if someone gives them a great idea, how long is that going to take to put into effect?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what because I mean it's just come out, but
Yeah.
it makes me think, did they just build like a giant sandbox here and that's it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to say. All right, well, moving on, I'll move to my number 4 game for 2018 that I'm excited about. Hopefully this game comes out. I heard it's a late 2018 release, but there's no official release date yet. But that is Mega Man 11. I don't know why I'm so excited about Mega Man this year, but just owning the Nintendo Switch and knowing that all the Mega Man games are going to be coming to it in the form of Mega Man Legacy collections, and more importantly, the Mega Man X collection. That's the one I'm really excited about. But they're seems like they're combining a lot of the elements from the past games in this one. Obviously, it has kind of a different art style from the last couple of games. It's more 3D looking. I don't really know how it's going to play yet, but it sounds like they may be putting a few things from the X franchise in there as well. Like I said, it's hard to say. I mean, I'm more of a fan of the X series, so I would probably prefer them to make another Mega Man X, honestly. But this is the next best thing, so that's kind of what I'm looking forward to, because it is coming out on Switch, and I just want to play all the Mega Man games on Switch. So that's my number 4. You guys Mega Man players at all?
I'm not a Mega Man player. I never really played the old one. My only experience with Mega Man was on that shitty like Saturday morning Nintendo Heroes cartoon.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, didn't he have like a deep voice or something?
I don't even remember.
But yeah, I never really played the games. Because I didn't have an original Nintendo ever. I did have a Super Nintendo for a long time. I bought a GameCube specifically for Resident Evil 4,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a Wii, but beyond that, like I'm just not a Nintendo guy. So
Yeah. Oh, we know.
Yeah, I mean, I like Nintendo more than you, but Mega Man was always kind of the I don't know, third or fourth tier of those games for Nintendo to me.
Really?
So yeah, I never like gravitated towards it, and then I mean, the progression of Mega Man games always seemed to be very much more of the same as opposed to like the Mario series where they actually like did new and different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like I assume Mega Man 11 is still like a 2D platformer.
Yeah, it is. But keep in mind, they haven't made a proper Mega Man game in a long time, so they're just going back to they're going back to basics. And who knows, if this is successful, they could spin off into other areas. But
Like if they made it like a third person, you know,
like Mega Man Legends 3, I think that was in development and they canceled it.
yeah, I mean,
or just kind of do like, didn't they sort of like take Metroid and evolve it into a different like an FPS rather than
like the Metroid FPS games were really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, exactly. I'm just saying if they evolved the series, but like 2D platformer, it's fun, but like it's a very like old genre.
Yeah, I
even
guess
Mario got out of that.
I love well, but Mario still goes back to 2D a lot, and I love 2D platformers, and that's kind of where I want Mega Man to live. So I'm fine with it. All right, Ian, what's your number 4 game? Speaking of old school,
Yeah, I put Pac-Man down because
because you had nothing else.
yeah, looking through the list, I just I know at least at the very least, Pac-Man is going to be fun because Pac-Man's fun.
Yeah,
And it's not going to have microtransactions, and I didn't know that about any other game on the list. So I used Pac-Man as a bar, and only put things above it that I was legitimately curious about. So
I just want to point out that both of your number 4 games originate from the 80s for your most anticipated game for 2018.
yeah, it's a dire situation.
Yeah, I did hear about a game that I feel like would be right up your alley. It's called Mother Simulator, and you can unlock the achievement of The Baby is Evil.
The Baby is Evil? The Baby is Evil sounds more like you.
I just want to point
out... You seem more interested in evil babies than me.
No.
I honestly like games with zombie children are the worst.
I just want to point
super creepy.
I just want to point out that this game has apparently already come out, but we're talking about Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 Plus. So this game is already out apparently.
Oh, well then you gave me an outdated list because I keep picking games that are already out. So.
Yeah, well the list I sent you, it has the release date underneath. But no, I mean, none of us have played it, so you can still be excited about playing it, even though it's come out.
I anticipate what the gameplay is like.
Yeah, well, yeah, just by looking at it, it looks. But you know what? I've heard really good things about the Pac-Man Championship Edition, so I'd be curious to play this game.
What systems is it on?
Well, it says Nintendo Switch, but I'm assuming PlayStation
well, then I'm
4
never
and Xbox.
No.
Because no, well, the first game came out on everything, so I don't think Nintendo got the exclusive rights for Pac-Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, JC. Let's move into the top 3.
All right.
I'm gonna tag team this one with you.
All right, start it off then.
All right. Well, why don't you name what your number 3 is? This is my number 2.
War of God.
War of God. Yes. Now, God of War, which is coming out next month, I think April 20th, something like that. Check on that, JC. I am really, really excited about this game because I've seen very little video footage until lately. Apparently, they released some gameplay, and it looks totally different from the previous games, which I did enjoy, but I think they're starting to get tired. And this one, still third person, but you go over the shoulder, just kind of more up close and personal, so to speak. And it's set in a totally different, totally different setting. I'm not sure how far removed time-wise we are from the Greek God of Wars, but it looks amazing. The game just looks unbelievable. And apparently it's one continuous cut. The entire game is just one continuous cut, and there's no loading. So I'm just really excited. The combat looks great. Kratos has an axe now that he throws, and it comes back to him like the hammer of Thor. It just really looks awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't played any of the God of War games.
Really?
Because I was not a PS3 or PS2 owner, so yeah, I'm more excited to actually play a God of War game.
Yeah, well, this one looks like it might be a good one just to jump in on for the first time.
Just to go back to the Pac-Man conversation, it's actually available on all major consoles.
Yeah, I assume that was what the case was.
Yeah, and the first edition was criticized. The iOS version was criticized for microtransaction strategy.
Uh-oh.
So I don't know what the strategy is for version 2, but
well, hold on though. That's iOS. They're everything is driven by microtransactions on the phones.
I know. I was just looking to see if there were microtransactions in this one, and I couldn't get an answer.
Yeah,
but I saw an article about that, and I was like, I just want to ruin Ian's day.
Just trying to shit on my point is all.
Yeah. Now, Ian, I noticed you didn't have this on the list, but are you excited at all for God of War?
I'm not really. I never really loved God of War.
Have you seen anything about this game though?
No, I haven't seen anything about this game. But the like continuous cut, no loading. Like where do I take a break and go refill my coffee? Or
well, I assume you can pause the game.
But no, fair enough. But I mean, if
no, you can't.
Like that
old school gaming can't pause.
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't help. I'm still stopping the game, so why not just give me stopping points? Like,
well, I mean, I'm assuming you get to checkpoints where you save and you respawn from those checkpoints if you die. But the point is there's no loading screens. There's no besides I'm sure loading into the game for the first time.
It seems like a novelty that I'm not sure it sounds all that. It sounds different for the sake of being different, but it worries me about the pacing.
No. It sounds cool. It sounds like you're going to be very in the game like the entire time, which sounds appealing.
No, I mean it sounds like the loading is probably just hidden in like cutscenes and stuff like that.
No, I don't think that's the point. I don't think there is cutscenes because it doesn't cut. Like the whole game is one continuous cut.
Well, that would still be uncut, but whatever.
Well, no. You're saying the game would have like cutscenes spliced in,
right? And
I'm saying I don't think it does. I don't think there are any cutscenes.
There's no cinematics in the game.
I don't think so. No, I mean, but
that's really.
Just hearing that, I'm not picking it up on release. I'm gonna listen to see how it is.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean.
Because that worries me a little bit from a like.
I don't know how a game would tell a story without like a cinematic.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I don't know. It's getting good. It's getting good early buzz. I know that, and combat looks great. So definitely excited about
that. Good early buzz means nothing to the hype right now.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
but I do hope that you can't pause the game. And that we have to leave our consoles on overnight with the game open, like the old days.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Can't find a save point. You're like, well, I guess I better just leave it on.
No, you don't remember playing like
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah,
or something on NES and being like, all right, I can't pause, but I'm like almost at the end of the game and I got to go to bed. Turn the TV off. Leave the console on.
Yeah, JC, that never happened. You almost being done with Turtles because that game is literally unbeatable.
I beat that game.
Wait, you beat Turtles 1?
No, Turtles Turtles 2.
Okay, I was gonna say I call bullshit on you if you beat
1.
Turtles 1.
Turtles 1 was not that good of a game.
No, Turtles 1 was impossible to beat. Okay, like I played so much of that game and I could not get past the friggin' water stage. It was God, I put so much time into that game too.
That was the one where you could only die once with each turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that game. Yeah, I went from my first experience with the Turtles game was the arcade game, the 4-person.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Turtles 2.
Well, wait, you played the actual arcade game?
Yeah. So I over at Major Magics in Toledo, Ohio, we would play the Turtles arcade game, and then I went from that to the Nintendo version of it, and I'm just like, this is not interesting to me. This is a straight downgrade in every way, shape, and form. And
yeah, Turtles 2 was the arcade game, and Turtles 1 was a major downgrade from that.
Well,
and then
you could say Turtles 2 is an upgrade.
Oh yeah,
because it did come out after Turtles 1. Yeah. So, all right.
Did it though? Because if it was just the arcade game, then the arcade game came out first.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, we'd have to check on that. It's more research that I want to do for this podcast. All right. Let's see. Oh, you know what we should talk about? Because this is actually number 3 on both of our lists, Ian and mine. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the big dog that is apparently still coming out this year. It's coming out in fall of 2018, I believe, still. And that's, of course, Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's on my list also.
Oh, yeah, it's JC's number 1. I was not even looking that far ahead. All right, well,
is this going to come out?
Yeah,
is this actually coming out? That's my question. I've heard things that maybe it'll get delayed, but it's not necessarily like Rockstar to really like. I know they'll delay the game if they need to get it right, but it's also not like them to set unrealistic window for release.
Well, they set it for last fall, I believe, and then they decided to push it to the spring, and
I don't think they set it for last fall. Right? No, I think that they originally set it for spring. I think people were speculating that it was going to be last fall.
Okay, so there was only one official delay then, right?
As far as I know.
Okay. So officially, the game is coming out October 26th. So let's just assume it's coming out this year. I have not seen hardly anything. I guess just besides the trailer, like one time, and I don't even remember it, except like there's several people in it that you might be playing as. I mean, let's talk about the first game a little bit. Did you guys finish the first game?
Yeah, so I did finish the first game. I probably played it through like 1.5 times.
Okay. You played Undead Nightmare too?
No, I never really got into Undead Nightmare because I think I got a version with Undead Nightmare and then started to play through it again and then just kind of never made it. Moved on to something else.
Do you beat it, JC?
I never played it.
Never played it.
But again, online or zombie games are not always my thing. So Undead Nightmare was not a huge thing for me.
Wow, that really surprises me. You never played Red Dead, JC. Why was that?
I didn't have the console in question.
Yeah,
it was on 360.
He was more of a PC gamer back in the day.
Really? But you had a 360, right?
Nope.
You never did.
Nope. I used to work on a 360, but I never played on it. I never.
Oh wow. Huh. I did not know that. I thought you were an Xbox guy through and through.
I like it as a console better. Obviously, it has done not well this iteration, but
not as well. It's just doing well.
Yeah.
It's doing okay. Just in comparison, it's not doing as well.
For the record, both the arcade and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 came out in '89, and the console version 2 came out in '90.
Okay. Well, thanks for the research there, buddy.
Someone's got to do it.
Glad you're engaged in the show.
So Red Dead, my experience with the game, I wasn't thrilled about that style of Rockstar games where they sort of put you into a character
Hmm.
and had you play as much as being able to create your own. So like GTA 3 was a great game, but I actually preferred Saints Row to it because you could sort of customize your own character. Now Saints Row kind of jumped the shark a long time ago, but the first couple of games were really fun.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer the Rockstar stuff, but yeah, they were okay.
I very much prefer the detail put into Rockstar stuff.
Hmm.
The immersion of the entire world is amazing.
Yeah.
But I very quickly am like, okay, fine. I just am this character. This is just what we're doing, and I'm fine with it. So I did enjoy playing through the game. And
they told a good story with John Marston. I mean, I was into his story, weren't you?
Yeah, I generally was. I remember having a few questions about it, but nothing that I can remember to this day. So
yeah.
But I generally remember it being a great game, and was had always hoped they'd follow it up with another one. And with a I hate to use this word because it's such a it's such an overused word in video games, but a more robust online this time.
Yeah. And the last online component was actually pretty fun. I remember playing it with some of you guys, and I had fun with it. I mean, it
was fun in theory, but it hardly ever worked.
Yeah.
When it did, it was like, okay, so my experience was I went in and you get like you choose one mount to start, and I took the burro. So I'm riding around on my little donkey. And some guy just rides up to me, and they had proximity chat, which I thought was a kind of a cool thing.
It's the worst thing.
It's not bad. It works sometimes, and I wish you'd see it more. Of course, with the ability to turn it off really easily. GTA's online, the muting people was such a pain.
Oh yeah.
Or GTA 5, that is. But with Red Dead, the guy came up and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, good, I guess." He's like, "Yeah, I was gonna just blow your brains out," but I was like, "Oh, he's not doing nothing."
Just riding his burro.
I'll just let him go. He's like, "Hey, is that the only horse you got?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's not really a horse though." So he's like, "Oh, check this out." So he calls in a zebra and he just gets off it. And he's like, "Take that. It's a lot faster." So I hop on the zebra and the thing's goes 120 miles an hour. And he just rides off into the sunset. So I'm like, "Thanks, dude." So I'd ride off, and about 100 yards later, somebody snipes my zebra in the face.
Ah.
And I can't call another one because it's not my zebra.
No.
So
you had to call the burro back?
Yeah, I had to call the burro back. But that was the thing. In Red Dead, it was just a bunch of griefers shooting your horse. That's all anybody ever did.
Yeah. Well, you'd think just online wise, it's after the success of GTA 5, it's going to be it's going to be huge and hopefully kind of different, and it's going to be a big deal. So I got to ask you though, JC, why is this your number one game? Not having played the first one.
Well, I mean, I was a fan of the GTA style game, and I am a fan of Westerns. So,
okay, there you go.
I like the idea of being able to, get a group and go do Westerny shit.
You're ready for Grand Theft Stagecoach?
Right. And the trailer looked gorgeous, and I always wanted to play the first game. I just never did because I didn't have the console in question.
Well, I think you can get it on Xbox One backwards compatibility, right?
I looked at it and I'm like, oh, the graphics, I can't. It looks so bad now.
I know, it's like going back to GTA 4.
I'm such a snob that way.
You are such a snob.
I need it to be remastered.
Yeah, there's plenty of other stuff to play though. Yeah, that never even came out on a computer, which surprised me. Red Dead 1.
Yeah.
Did all the GTA games come out on computer?
Yeah. Yep.
I believe it was actually.
I vaguely remember 4, but I didn't remember before that if they had
all of them.
I remember playing GTA and GTA Britain on PC.
I remember GTA Britain coming out when I worked at Blockbuster.
Wasn't it GTA London?
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever it was.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Which, I feel like they're never going to go back to that one.
They might. I mean, I could see them going across the ocean finally after a while.
They've obviously done like high res versions of a bunch of the other stuff, but never that. I don't know. I think it's too much of the American based audience.
Well, how many locales do they actually have in GTA? Is it just Liberty City and Los Santos,
San Andreas.
Vice City?
Vice City, and then yeah, the San Andreas was a lot of towns. That was one of the few GTAs I actually didn't play, but it was apparently a huge game. And there's like several cities in that one. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, hopefully it comes out. It's just, oh man, there's so many. God, I don't know. I'll probably drop everything and play that game when it comes out, when it does. But oh man, there's just like so much other stuff. I guess since we talked about JC's number one game, I'll just move on to the one that's kind of in competition for my time with Red Dead, and that would be Spider-Man, since it's also coming out this fall.
That's your number one, right?
It is my number one. Yeah, I noticed none of you other guys had this on your list, but I was a huge fan of. I mean, I've been a huge fan of Spider-Man in video games for a long time. I remember have fond memories of Maximum Carnage and Separation Anxiety, and then we started to get some of the movie tie-in games like Spider-Man 1, which was not so great.
Well, that's the thing. There's been a lot of Spider-Man games that have been a lot of bad.
Spider-Man 2 was fantastic, and even the PlayStation 1 games that were just based on the comics. Like the first game was at the time for me it was amazing because it was 3D, third person, and the combat was really cool. I love that.
That first game I remember, and it was like a very like early kind of like sort of open world, and like truly you were like, oh, I feel like I'm Spider-Man playing.
Yeah,
this game.
Everything's covered in fog. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you also remember, JC, that you can actually go to the Baxter Building? Yes. You could also do that in Spider-Man 2, which was cool.
But the last Spider-Man that came out was completely broken, right?
The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah, that was.
I can't keep up with the titles on Spider-Man.
Well, I'm getting to that. But after Spider-Man 2, the one that I had the most fun with was Ultimate Spider-Man for PlayStation 2. You play that one, JC?
No, I didn't play that one.
Oh, that was a great game.
Yeah, remember that time where he didn't have a PlayStation 2 or an Xbox 360?
You never even had you never even had that generation of systems, huh?
Nope.
Huh. So your first console was the Xbox One.
Not my first console.
Well, since like the 90s.
No. I had a
PlayStation.
Nintendo Wii.
Oh yeah, that's
Nintendo
right.
Wii. And what else did I have?
Well, you must have had PlayStation where you played the Spider-Man game on it, right?
I had a Nintendo GameCube.
Was it on GameCube?
No, I think I played it on PC.
God, listen to this Nintendo fanboy.
I had other consoles in my collection are an Atari Jaguar.
Oh wow! Oh wow! So you're one of the 9 other people who had that console, huh?
Hey, there was a couple good games on that system.
Well, yeah, Alien vs. Predator was on that system, right?
Yeah, and there was, Doom was on that system, but I remember there was a cool like robot fighting game that I played on that system. It was a poor investment, but
Yeah, I've never played Jaguar.
I also had a Sega Dreamcast, another dead.
Yeah.
System.
Anything else?
Sega Dreamcast was not a terrible system, though.
No, it was a great system, destroyed by piracy.
Jeez, you really know how to pick them with the consoles there, JC.
JC has a console and just buy the other one.
Yeah.
If I buy a console, don't buy that console.
Yeah. And of course, you got the Xbox One.
And I'm really looking at that new Atari console that's coming out. It looks really cool.
The classic one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stay away from that one.
Yeah. Actually, it does look kind of cool because it's just preloaded with a ton of games, like old Atari games.
Well, I mean, there's no details on what's actually going to be on it, but allegedly it's going to have new content. But it looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
I'm confused about the whole Atari thing, but okay.
What do you mean
I mean, that was my only system for the longest time. Well, all right, that's not true. I had a ColecoVision.
Oh, okay.
When we were really young, that my parents picked up at a garage sale, and then no, I never had a 2600. We only had the Atari 7800. So I did have the 7800, and we had an Atari for the longest time. That was the only console I had until the Super Nintendo. So I was playing Atari when everybody was playing Nintendo. Unless I could go over to my friend Jason Rodriguez's house. He had a Nintendo. And I'm sure he got sick of me wanting to play it when I was over there, but
yeah. Probably.
So yes, getting back to Spider-Man. I love I'm the only one who's played in Spider-Man games, but that's all right. Yeah, this one looks like it's going to have another open world. Hopefully better realized than the last game, which was based on a movie, but it wasn't a terrible game. That was the Amazing Spider-Man 1. No, that's the last game I played, Amazing Spider-Man 1. And they tried to kind of like replicate the feel from Spider-Man 2. There was just a lot of like empty. It was kind of just an empty sandbox. There wasn't a whole lot to actually do as far as activities, and they kind of just copied the Batman Arkham combat. So I'm really hoping that this is going to be a much better version and more stuff to do and much better realized. And hopefully you can still swing around all of Manhattan, but we'll see. There's not a ton of details out about the game. They released like a kind of a scripted sequence, like showing him fighting a villain, and it looks really cool and it looks beautiful. So I'm hopeful. But yeah, that's my number one game that I'm looking forward to in 2018. I guess I know we're jumping around a lot here, but Ian had a game that he hasn't talked about that's actually coming out very soon. And that would be what, Ian?
Is that Far Cry?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all that's left.
Yeah.
So Far Cry, I don't know what to think about it, but the reason it's on my list is because I'm irrationally fascinated with cultists.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of
really the only reason you don't like the Far Cry gameplay.
I was fine with it. I played Far Cry 4 a little bit.
Okay.
I don't think I played any of the Far Cries before that. I don't.
Man, it's so fun.
I didn't hate it. It was fun when I was playing it, but it didn't call to me. You know, I wasn't addicted to it.
Yeah.
I like the actual shooting mechanics and gameplay. I mean, I think I was playing it while I was playing games like Destiny and probably Battlefield 4, that kind of thing. So it wasn't the most satisfying shooter to me.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just kind of wanted to play through it for story and you know, just for fun and some of the different things that Far Cry does, which is like, you know, the kind of hunting and crafting aspects, but
and a lot of vehicles to drive around. It's a fun game.
I haven't played any of the Far Cry games. I just remember when like the first one or two came out, they were generally like panned as being really gorgeous tech demos with not great gameplay. I realize the series has gotten better since then. So,
I don't know, man. I don't agree with that. I mean, they were gorgeous game. Like the first game was a gorgeous game, and I thought the shooting was fine at the time. I mean, I haven't come back to it, but I thought it was fine. And Far Cry 2 really like changed things up because it kind of added a kind of a survival system to it, and it just made it a little more like realistic. You're not this crazy, like over the top, like commando that can just kill swaths of people. And you're like in Africa.
So it's not Uncharted?
No. you're like in Africa and you actually have malaria and you have to like find medicine to just keep the malaria at bay. It was a cool game. Like it was very, very different.
That sounds like a game that you hated playing, which was Division Survival.
Nah, this was different. No, I just hated seeing that friggin' helicopter as I was running towards it, and it just starts taking off, and I'm like, I'm right here.
One time you played it.
A simultaneously really great and terrible experience with survival, I think.
Yeah.
Because the first game that we all played, we got to the point where we were extracting. Like that's pretty rare. Like it's not that often that you make it that far. So the fact that we were like getting to the point of extract, I think JC was probably laying cold and alone, shitting himself somewhere on the floor of an abandoned building.
I was very dead at the time.
That time,
waiting for one of you guys on a helicopter to revive me, which wasn't going to happen.
But Aaron and I were going to make it out, and and we didn't even have. I honestly did not like our chances fighting hunters with me and Aaron because he didn't play the Division a lot, but. I rolled up on the helicopter when these other two guys killed the hunters. So we sort of were just piggybacking off their helicopter, and there was space for one more person because those two guys got in and I got in, and Aaron was running down the street and I saw him. There was just seconds left as he was crossing into the helicopter pad, and the helicopter just lifted off without him.
Oh,
just left him there. And there was there wasn't even a chance for you to move on because I think that we were down to less than 60 seconds of life left before we were going to die of disease. Yeah. So there wasn't even like, you could just fight another hunter and catch the next helicopter. It was like, that was it.
Well, also, he wasn't going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But also, I'm pretty sure he hasn't played the game since then.
Not survival. I have not.
The game at all?
Have you played Division at all since then?
I have, yeah. I jumped back in just to dip my toes in again, just a regular game.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
It was. I remember you just like being so stressed out by it.
Oh yeah, it was super stressful. It was. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
What I liked about that game mode was that it's completely different than any game you play because you're actually like stressed about the stuff that you're dealing with.
Yeah. No, it's funny thinking about it now. I do kind of want to go back and try it again, and I've been feeling that way about the Division in general. So maybe at some point we can do it and try it. That was just completely heartbreaking. See the helicopter lift off.
So good.
All right.
No, it was silent. It was like bittersweet lifting off in the helicopter without you because there was nothing I could do to help, but yet I was making it out. So
I also remember you laughing maniacally.
I mean, it was. We were sick. I was delirious. I was a little delirious.
Yeah.
I was probably a few minutes away from dying myself.
You really thought it was the funniest thing to just see me running up and like lifting off.
I'm pretty sure that video is on YouTube.
It is actually.
You can put this in the.
Is it really?
Yeah, you just clip in the show notes.
Yeah, put the clip. It's on my. It's on Lofty Dogs.
Lofty Dogs. Okay, it's still
channel.
Up there.
Yeah,
right.
you can clip it.
All right. Oh my God, yeah. Okay, yeah. I should just overlay that over us talking about this.
Yeah.
I should just put the whole video up there so people just see how inept I was reaching the helicopter. All right.
I feel like you probably could have made the helicopter too. You probably were dicking around doing.
No. I was running my ass off towards that helicopter.
He was a long ways away, and I was amazed at how close he got.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I remember being so far away with the time running down that I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna get close. And the closer and closer I got, I'm just like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it.
Like, if I die, I'm gonna die running.
It's like no. Yeah. So Anyways, there's a little trip down memory lane down with some Division talk. All right, guys. Well, that does it.
We're not going to talk about Mount Aslan? That's messed up.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about your number 2 game.
That's
Oh,
messed up. You're just trying to cut me out.
I haven't even heard of this game, actually. Talk about this game.
Okay, so this game's called A Way Out, and I was going through some lists of like cool games that are coming out in 2018 and watched the trailer for this, and I'm hoping that I can convince one of you idiots to play it with me, because it is a Prison Break co-op game, and it's designed to be played exclusively co-op, either in front of the same screen or online. And you play as one guy who's already in jail and one guy who's getting into jail, and it goes through the whole like you break out of prison and then like there's more outside of prison also, but like it looks really interesting and really fun, like lots of different mechanics, kind of like a Splinter Cell co-op back in the day, but with a Prison Break setting. It looks really interesting.
Okay.
The consequences for failing on all sides there seem insanely daunting.
But you're in prison.
You're just staying in prison. That's the consequence.
I don't know if there's like a drop the soap cutscene if you fuck up.
Oh, you know what? This is actually coming out this week.
Is it?
Yeah, March 23rd. Also, I wanted to
what
mention
system is it on?
Xbox, PlayStation, PC.
Yeah. It looks really cool.
Okay. Huh. All right. Well, maybe we should revisit that at a later date. Also, Far Cry 5 is actually coming out next week, next Tuesday. So that's like rapidly coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm like super excited about it to the point where I'm going to get it right off the bat. I'm gonna wait for a sale. I think I'm
on my way to. Yeah, I'm still playing 4, but I'm kind of tempted to buy the deluxe edition with the season pass because they're including Far Cry 3 Classic for PlayStation 4 on there. So and Xbox, but I love the hell out of Far Cry 3, and it'd be cool to replay that on PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
but like I said,
it actually comes out tomorrow on the 23rd.
Yeah, that's what I just said, JC.
Oh, you said it comes out next week, but you're saying the collector's edition comes out tomorrow?
No. You're talking about A Way Out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes out on the 23rd.
I thought you said next week.
No, I went back to Far Cry 5. That's coming out next week.
Yeah, a lot of these games are coming out soon.
Yes. So that stuff's coming out. Yeah, man.
So before we kill it off, is there a Battlefield game coming out? Because I didn't see it on the list.
There is. There's Battlefield 2018 is what it's tentatively referred to. We'll get details pre-E3.
Is that the one? Is it rumored to be in World War II?
That's what the rumor is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really heard too much, but I did think that there was a Battlefield game coming out, and I like Battlefield, so that really realistically belongs on my list for anticipated games because any Battlefield game I'm going to play.
Above or below Pac-Man?
Above Pac-Man.
Above Pac-Man. Okay.
Yeah, it beats the bar for games that I am legit intrigued in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll definitely be playing that too. Especially if it's as good as Battlefield 1 was.
So you can keep Billions on my list and kick Pac-Man off for Battlefield.
Jeez, just changing the rules on me now. All right. Well, we're going to cut it off there because we're going to check out some Sea of Thieves as soon as we get off. So, guys, thanks for being on. People, thank you for being with us. That was our little discussion of the games of 2018. And we will see you next week for more of a proper Pixels and Panels podcast where we'll actually probably talk some comics. But yeah, if you want to see anything more, just go to pixelsandpanelspodcast.com. You can leave a topic or question there that we may or may not talk about on the show. And thanks for being with us, people. Ian, JC, let's sail the high seas.
Arg. I don't know. I was trying to think of something piratey to say.
All right, thanks, guys. See you next time.